Hey guys, welcome to number 6 of the Inter Milan career mode, and to start off this episode I'm just going to have a look at the top goal scorers, the top assisters, and as you can see Icardi, Mertens are both on pretty much the top of the leaderboards, and we've got a couple of other players in there. I think Perisic and Handanovic actually are like second in the most clean sheets, so that's showing that we're doing quite well. We're 5th in the league at the moment, about 9 points off the top of the table, plenty of time and plenty of fixtures left to be able to win the title, win the Champions League, and hopefully win the Tim Cup as well. That'd be quite cool. So, first game of the episode is against Napoli, one of the bigger sides in the Serie A. So there is their lineup. Hamzic and Allen in the midfield, Insigne, Higuain, Jose Callahan. Obviously Mertens coming against his former club, Pepe Reina in goal, and Chiriches, the former Spurs centre-back, and Raul Albion, the former Real Madrid. So we go into the game here, 7th minute, Bojan running down the right-hand side, does win a penalty, I think it is Gulam, the left-back, does give away a penalty there, and yeah, it's a good way to kick off the game, obviously against Napoli, a very good side. Should be able to take this quite nicely with Palacio. I think Icardi was a little bit low on fitness, so I thought I'd give him the game, and he does eventually take the penalty, and I think we do go down to the left-hand side, and I believe we do put it into the back of the net. Yes, we do, there we go. Lovely goal from Palacio, great start to the game, and that ponytail, it's just really frustrating why he's got that hair, but obviously he's going to express himself somehow. So into the 42nd minute of the match here, Guarin picking up the ball, fake shotting, going inside and then having a shot, and it's a wonderful strike from the Colombian to make it 2-0 in the game. Now it would be interesting to know what you guys think I should do with him, because he's actually moved to the Chinese league in real life, so maybe we get rid of him in the January transfer window. I'm not too sure what you guys think about that. But into the 55th minute of the match here, Allen bringing the ball forwards, eventually finding Higuain, a wonderful through ball for Insigne, who does finesse it into the top right hand corner to make it 2-1 in the game. Then a few minutes later they do get a corner, Insigne again whipping the ball into Hamzic and then to Gulam and then to Jorginho, who puts it into the back of the net to equalise. And yeah, it's crazy how quick some teams can just score against you. Like 1 minute you're leading by 2 goals, the next you lose, and we do get the goal there in the final moments of the match. Miranda, obviously Bojan again putting the ball into the box, creating the chance, and getting us the goal to make it 3-2 in the last kick of the game pretty much. So really nice way to end it off, and a great way to kick off this episode against a very good side with the nice 3 points. I think they actually brought the keeper out in that last bit there from a corner, and we could have potentially made it 4-3, so 4-2, sorry. So it was a good way to kick off the episode, obviously against Napoli, because then we've got the game against PSV. I believe we do have to win this game to be able to get through to the next round, and Manchester City have to beat Valencia, or if they draw, then I think it's going down to goal difference, I'm not too sure. So we're going to put Bojan back on that right hand side of a good performance in the last game to kick off the episode, and bringing in Santon in the right back position. Handanovic has actually grown to an 86 at the age of 31, which is kind of crazy. So here is their lineup. They got Moreno, Willems, Zoe, and De Jong, Narsing, and that Belgian left mid. I don't even want to say his name because it's that kind of crazy. But yeah, there's our lineup. It's pretty much the normal one, which we always go for. So into the first couple of minutes of the match here, Bojan bringing the ball into the box, wonderful, into, was it Mertens? I think, yeah, it was Mertens with the goal there, just poking it into the back of the net. A wonderful through ball from Santon. Bojan with the pace and the dribbling to get it into the right place at the right time, and a wonderful finish from the Belgian to make it 1-0 to kick off the game. So a really good way to start off this Champions League fixture. Then into the 33rd minute, ball into the box, Icardi with the header and Icardi with the goal. He's a wonderful player for finishing the ball. It's a bit of a shame his dribbling and skill moves are only 2-star, because if he had 3-star skill moves and a little bit more dribbling, then he'd be an absolutely amazing player. Into the 41st minute of the match here, just before half time, De Jong does get the ball into the back of the net. A wonderful cross from that Belgian left mid. I think it's Listini, I'm not too sure. But again, just before half time, same place and same result. It does go into the back of the net to make it 2-2 and to get PSV back into the game. So really putting some pressure on us for the second half. But Adam Ljajic here bringing the ball into the box, eventually finesses it into the back of the net. A wonderful goal from the Serbian to make it 3-2 in the game. I really do like Ljajic. He's a player I'm going to definitely look at potentially getting in the Derby career mode. I know he's on loan at Inter, so I won't be able to get until the second season, but that like Premier League level, he probably does have it. So that is how the game does end. Nearly did concede there in the final kick of the game from PSV, but we did win the game, and as you can see there, Manchester City and Valencia 0-0. So I believe on goal difference we may have gone through it, maybe a point between us. I'll see in a second. So looking at the table, we've actually gone through by 1 point. I think Valencia had to beat Manchester City, so 2 wins, 2 draws and 2 losses. Not the best. And I've only just realised you don't play the team on the next group. Obviously it's a random draw. They should be able to, I don't know what the team's at the moment. But anyway, here's our shortlist. We've got a few players here that I would quite like to bring in. Maybe Xavi Alonso. Draxley was actually linked in real life. That would be a really nice signing. Ben Arthur as well. 5-star skiller, wonderful stats. And maybe another striker as well. I'm not too sure. Maybe Chicharito. I think some of you guys suggested Okazaki. And there was someone else. I think it was Aguero as well. But he's just moved to PSG. So that may be a little bit of a different, difficult one to be able to do. So here is the Udinese lineup that got Zapata and Through, the French striker, Merkel in the midfield, and it is a 3 at the back team. So we should be able to win, but you never know. Tactics can favour the team with the more attacking players. So into the game now in the 7th minute of the match here. Perisic on the left hand side, winning the ball, putting it to Medel, inside to Kondogbia. Wonderful strike from the Frenchman. Puts it into the top left-hand corner and kicks off the game with one of the best goals I've scored so far on this career. Kondogbia as well has been a massive surprise. I knew he was good, but I didn't realise how good he was going forwards. I think he's scored like 4 or 5 goals so far this season, and I think Icardi's only got like 8 or 9. So into the 20th minute of the match here, not too sure what Handanovic was doing there. Completely misses the punch, and I think I actually paused the game just before this goal, so it's really frustrating when that does happen. Oh no, it's this goal. I just unpaused it there, and then Zapata scores. Like, why is that a factor on the game? When I unpause the game, it just goes super mode, like all the sliders go full on, and the AI tend to always score when I just unpause it, so it's really frustrating. So I paused it then he just whipped the ball in. Maybe I could have followed him with a defender and prevented that. But yeah, 90th minute here, Palacio off the bench, finesses it into the back of the net, and does get us a valuable point at Udinese Stadium. So in the end, a little bit lucky, a little bit unlucky at the same time, as when we do pause it, we do just tend to concede some really, really silly goals. So a little bit unfortunate to drop a couple of points there, but Udinese, very good team, and Zapata with some wonderful headers. So into the next game now against Lazio, another big game in this episode. I tell you, it's quite a big episode in terms of fixtures. There's obviously Napoli, there's Lazio now, and that final Champions League game, meaning we go through to the next round, is always good. So here's their lineup. They've gone for that striker, Jeric, I want to say his name is, Keita, Candreva, Cataldi, Howard, Mauricio, Basta, and I believe their goalkeeper's not too good, so should be able to do quite nicely. But we do unfortunately concede early on there in the first 10 minutes. That Serbian striker, I think he goes to about an 84 rated. I've never ever heard of him in real life, but on FIFA he seems to be quite good. Then in the 51st minute of the match here, Keita on the run, puts it into the back of the net and gets him into a 2-0 advantage there, and makes it really difficult for us. So we do make some substitutions here. Bibione coming off the bench, eventually gets into a good position, sweaties it across to Palacio. He's been in pretty good form this episode. He got the goal in the first game against Napoli, then he got a goal against Udinese to get us a lucky point, and did get us back into the game there to make it 2-1, so a good goal for us. And the substitutions making the impact that they had to make, and I don't understand why in real life substitutions aren't as an impact as on FIFA, because on FIFA 9 times out of 10 a sub will score me a goal. Unfortunately, we do concede a goal here in the 80th minute. I think it's their fullback, or is it Candreva? I'm not too sure. Gets them the goal there to make it 3-1. Then we concede another here to make it 4-1 again. That Serbian striker Djurjevic, he's good at shooting, he's good at heading, but I don't think he's that mobile. He's a little bit more of a target man styled striker. So unfortunately we have lost that episode. I think Lazio are actually top of the Serie A. Maybe they're second, maybe they're third, I'm not too sure. But yeah, it was a big game. A bit of a shame we did lose the points in the end. So next game now against Genoa. Straight away in this episode we've played like a matter of 5 or 6 games in a matter of 10 minutes. So it really does help these episodes, because they save me a lot of time, both on the editing and on the length of this series. It will probably be about 9 or 10 episodes, which I think is about right. It should be able to be done within the next couple of weeks, I want to say, and then we should be going back to the Derby Pyramid So that'll be quite good to see. So into the game now against Genoa. Mertens bringing the ball forwards out wide to Perisic, who's been a really nice player. I really do like Perisic on FIFA. Wonderful ball into box. And that man Kondogbia again getting a goal. It seems like he always scores a goal, at least in every episode. Like, for a defensive midfielder, he is very good going forwards, and that's good to see from the young Frenchman. It's a bit of a shame we can't do this career mode for a little bit longer, because Kondogbia could be like an 85 rated player in a couple of seasons. No worries at all. Then he puts a wonderful ball over the top there. Perisic, not too sure what the keeper was doing there, but Perisic just heads it past him with a little bit of a lucky jump to make it 2-0 in the game. A wonderful assist from Kondogbia, and that is how the game does end. 2-0, 3 points on the board, and a good way to end off the episode against a decent side in Genoa. Again, we just don't really have that much possession on this career mode. I tend to do a little bit better on the Derby career mode, but this Inter one, I barely scrape 40% possession. So just going to simulate this training to end off the episode, and as you can see, Icardi has grown to an 81 rated player, which is really nice to see. Should be able to grow to an 82 pretty darn soon as well. So we are going to end off the episode here. We've played quite a few games. I think we're in the top 3 or 4 in the Serie A now, so that's good to see. Through to the next round as well in the Champions League. So if you did enjoy this episode, make sure you do leave a like, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and see you soon. Bye.